What is up, wrestling fans? Welcome to episode number 726 of the Smart Guy Moment Smack Talk Hot Tags of the Week. I'm your host, as always, Tony Mango, joined as always by Robert E. Felice.
Happy Halloween, everybody, and happy anniversary to Tony and his wife.
Aw, thank you so much. And Callum Wiggins. Dressing up as anything today. I am dressing up as somebody who's got their shit together. Let's see if that's scary.
Well, we're twinning right now. I'm also dressing up as somebody who's got their shit together.
Well, I saw a thing that Insomnia Cookies here. If you go there dressed up in like some kind of a costume and you buy a cookie, they'll give you one for free. And I was like, oh man, I should go there, buy a cookie, and then they'd be like, oh, if you had a costume on, you whatever, and I'll just be like, oh, I'm masking all the time. Does that count? Yeah, there's a difference between the spookiness of Halloween and the spookiness of the real world. Which, by the way, if you're into spooky stuff, check out my wife's collection over on the AAPB, the AmericanArchive.org. Things up around with AEW in a way that nobody knows, and we can't report anything. Okay, well then that's not a news story. And then Netflix is exploring some possibilities of whatever, but we don't know exactly what it is, and none of that's in discussion, and that's all speculation, and it could be complete nonsense. Well, okay. So it's been a week like that with a lot of the stuff that I'm looking through, but it is what it is. Sometimes we have weeks where crazy amounts of things go on, and sometimes we have weeks where thankfully it's not as nuts, but if we forget anything, drop a comment below and let us know, and then we'll try to roll that into next week or something. We're going to leave a comment in response, but you should be leaving your comments across the board. Maybe if you are on Discord, then chat it up throughout the week at any point in time about anything that's on those different channels. You can find that link to the channel servers and everything over on the sidebar of smartguymoment.com. You can find it below on YouTube, or you can just look at the link that's on your screen right now. Keep in mind, too, that if you are on YouTube, comment section's there. Go ahead and leave a comment. Also, make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe, ring that notification bell, get your email alert set up for tomorrow's Saturday night's main event post show, immediately following the show, which I'm hoping ends at 10 p.m. because I don't want it to go any longer than that. And we'll, of course, be having live coverage elsewhere and, all smartguymoment.com and all that. But if you want to help us out on the monetary side of things, toss a little spare change our way through the thanks button. Make sure that you click on the join button over on YouTube, join the YouTube channel membership. Join these super chats if you are on the live chats for the post shows and stuff. Patreon.com/smartguymoment. It's the same exact thing. The only difference being it's not on YouTube. And Redbubble and TeePublic is where you can get your merchandise if you are interested in that kind of side of things. So all that stuff out of the way. One thing for us to start breaking down is something that happened prior to Monday Night Raw, which was the potential of an interesting story of these, cryptic, mysterious teaser things. WWE likes to do these things and just get people talking. It's a good strategy, it's a marketing thing. And it was showing at first just one person's feet walking. Okay. Expensive looking shoes, dress pants, whatever. Then it went to a different set of shoes, different set of pants, but it looked like it was still maybe some kind of loafers with strings, shoelaces, whatever. Then it started to get progressively more like wrestling boots. And at this point in time, I'm seeing all sorts of theories. One of them being this is Chris Jericho and it's representing all the different characters that he's had, which didn't make any sense to me because I was like, I don't look at that and think, okay, the dress shoes equals the suit version of Jericho. Sure. But what are the other two? And people are like, oh, that's the light up jacket and then the lion heart. And I'm like, since when did the light up jacket guy wear dress shoes and regular business pants? That doesn't make any sense. And the business stuff leading into the other stuff made me start to think, okay, well, are we getting like Tony D'Angelo? And it's becoming, he's going from the Don to go back to his roots of slowly, we're seeing the transition from, and I was giving them way too much credit here, as you could tell, it's going to be Tony D as the Don of NXT, and then when he was an underboss, and then when he was kind of just a brute thug, And it's going to be like, I need to go back to my roots and just be like that brawler that got into the mafia business or whatever the hell. Clearly not the case. Ends up being just a promotional thing for WrestleMania. And it's just Punk, Roman, Paul Heyman, Triple H, Cody Rhodes, and Brock Lesnar sitting around a poker table. I was not surprised to see that this was a less interesting, in my mind at the very least, a less interesting idea than what I was pitching, and a less wild idea than I was seeing other people pitch. And I saw so many people that were upset about this being like, oh man, like this totally was Jericho, or this totally was some big debut or whatever. And I'm like, man, you got your hopes up way too high. And WWE, I guess, didn't realize that people would start making this kind of jump and then get disappointed. But hey, that's what happens when you put out some mystery things. People start imagining all the options, and then when you underperform, then you end up disappointing them. You know, I felt like this was more of a dud than anything else, but maybe you guys disagree. Maybe you guys have a different point of view. I don't know. What do you think?
A boat's a boat, but the mystery box can be anything. It can even be a boat. Actually, I'm not gonna sit here and like sing the praises of WWE, but like this one's on the people who got their hopes up. There was nothing that said, "Holy shit, it's definitely Jericho," who, by the way, is still technically under contract. It's definitely Santos Escobar. Oh man, they really are gonna make Andrade wrestle more for them. Like at some point, it's your own fault for doing this to yourself. As far as the ad itself, it was fine. It made me chuckle. I sent you the Banco from James Bond when I sent you the full clip, because it's a fine commercial. They're back in Vegas. I think they missed the opportunity for Cody to say that he's going double or nothing or all in. But other than that, it is what it is.
Dad, would you like some popcorn?
Sure. Thank you. Wait, what is this? And I love you too.
What it is.
While I obviously agree with Rob that like people speculated and they built up their own idea in their head, and there was no kind of actual promise or clarity over whether it's someone coming in. I just don't think that, knowing the business that you're in, you should be doing teasers for an ad. Like, just do the ad. Who cares? Who cares about? Does the teasers add a lot more excitement around the advert? No, it just makes people, because you know what business you're in. You've been in it long enough to say, oh, they see Ranafi coming with just these like these cryptic tweets that WWE are putting out with no wording behind it or anything on those lines, and it's just videos of feet walking. You're just immediately going to assume, oh, is someone debuting or is something happening? Like, you have to recognize that while they're not actively seeking out that level of speculation, they know what their fan base is like, or they know what the wrestling fan base is like. And when you start doing cryptic stuff like that, you're immediately going to draw levels of speculation. And fundamentally, what they built this speculation for, or built up this hype for, wasn't worth it. It's a fucking advert for WrestleMania. You know, that show that everyone watches every single year in your fan base, that you don't need to even think about advertising, because you know what? Your fan base is going to watch WrestleMania. If they're going to watch anything across the year, they're going to watch WrestleMania. They may miss half the rest of the year or 3/4 of the rest of the year. They're going to turn up for WrestleMania. So right. What is the point of building so much hype around it right now? Like we're in October. We're at the end of October. We're going into November. But like, it's why do you need to start hyping it up now, 6 months away from a show that, pretty much regardless of how bad the build is, one way or the other, people are still going to tune in and watch. So,
now,
yeah, it's one thing if they would have not said where WrestleMania is going to be, and then this could have been like a hype up thing to be like, okay, well, now we're going to reveal where WrestleMania is, because even that's like lame. But at the same time, at least that's something where people will go, oh, maybe this is a thing about like, you know, is this New Orleans? Is this whatever? It was just, like what bothers me about that is I hate the culture that we're in now. And I mean, I hate it in so many different ways, but I'm from the era, maybe I'm dating myself, you know, I'm 38 years old. Or shit, am I 39? Okay, I forget. I don't remember. I hate that I don't remember off the top of my head. The whole like in a world type of movie theater trailers were a lot of fun. And eventually we got to a point where people realized, oh, we only have like 2 seconds on YouTube to be able to get somebody to hook to watch a trailer even or a teaser. So we need a teaser. And it'll be like, you look up a movie trailer and it's 5 seconds of like a big action scene, like, you know, somebody falling off of a cliff or something. And then it'll be like, the trailer's going to start now. And it's like, but now that's in the trailer. And now you just showed me the big moment. And I don't need the teasers of we're going to tease that we're going to announce something. And I don't need a teaser, like you said, a teaser for an advertisement for a show that's already been announced where you don't do anything other than go, remember, WrestleMania's in Vegas. And it's like, am I supposed to go, oh, shit? Like, so the rest sitting around playing poker. What?
I just had to check myself. This was the announcement that the combo tickets to get your Saturday and Sunday seats are on sale. That was the actual purpose of the ad, and thankfully, it's not just literally, hey, remember we're in Vegas. Yes, because honestly, WWE today could do, hey, remember we're in Vegas, and nobody would bat an eye, because that's just the place they're in right now.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that whatsoever. And, I mean, like we're saying about like you set yourself up for this mystery question mark element of it. And if you don't deliver for what other people's imaginations can create, it's going to be a disappointment. And like, I don't know, for instance, I'll tie this back into a more Fanboys Anonymous thing, which if you don't know what Fanboys Anonymous is about, obviously go to fanboysanonymous.com. You can go to fanboysanon.com. It's the same thing. All right, as I do, I type out Fandomni because that's my other name. Like they've been doing, the Russo brothers did this thing for Avengers Endgame before anybody knew what the name of the movie was. And it was just a picture and it was like, look closely or something. And through different like scaffolding and a chair and whatever, they were spelling out the word Endgame. And they released something like that for Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars, or for all we know, some third fucking movie. I don't know. And it's another like, look closely and whatever. Nobody's been able to figure it out. And I've seen every type of, the way that the lines are based off of the lighting means this, and that's an A and a V and an X, which means Avengers versus X-Men. Oh no, it means this, whatever. I've seen every possible permutation of people being like, this is such a big deal. This is so cool. And I can't wait for these 900 different characters to be in the movie or whatever. And if it ends up just being, okay, well, we were teasing the idea that like, remember Dr. Doom's coming or something like that we already know, then people are going to be like, well, then the next time around that you're teasing something, I don't care. And that's when you get to things like QR codes that people don't click on anymore because they just lead to the Wyatts being like, here's another goofy promo. Or if you set up like, the big debut of somebody and it ends up being just, haha, we got you. It's so-and-so. And this isn't like some make or break it thing that somebody's going to watch these videos of the people walking and then be like, I'm not watching WrestleMania. But at the same time, it's like, well, I don't care. And then it kind of just hinders my own perception of like, okay, you've got nothing to advertise. So you just said, here's 4 people that are popular and we don't know what they're doing with them yet. But I don't know. Remember, we got these 4 guys, and we talked about this on the Saturday Night's Main Event side up of everything, the predictions and all. It's 4 people that have been around for a long, long time.
There's no Cody on that poster.
If you're missing 5 or more teeth and have been looking into getting dental implants, you've got to hear this. I often hear patients say permanent dental implants are really expensive, and they worry that if they spend a lot of money and the dental implants fail, they'll be in a bigger hole than when they started. Large-scale studies have shown that the survival rate of dental implants ranges anywhere from 93 to 97%, which indicates that dental implants, when done correctly, are an effective procedure for long-term dental issues. At Nuvia, the success rate is even higher than industry averages, with a success rate of 99.13%. So you can see the millions of dollars spent and years of research has gone into ensuring that when you come into Nuvia, you're going to leave with permanent dental implants that are custom designed for you. So if you're looking for a permanent solution to your dental problem, take our 60-second quiz to find out if you're eligible for permanent teeth in only 24 hours.
This episode of the Oprah Podcast is presented by Walmart. Kim Kardashian is joining us now from New York City. Hello.
Couldn't miss this. Oh, I remember a 1 a.m. and she has this light that she puts where she looks like a miner, you know?
Yes. We know that light.
And I've been in love ever since.
Hi there, and welcome to the Oprah Podcast, where my goal is to bring you some inspiration. Yes, and new ideas, and definitely a lot of good vibrations, good energy. That's what's important to me right now, is using my gifts, my talents, my voice to spread positive things into the world. So I thank you all for choosing to spend your valuable time here with us. And, you know, I believe the United States of America is just the greatest country the world has ever known, because nowhere else on earth could my story come to fruition, and nowhere else could my guest story be realized either. Only in America. When Anastasia Soare came to America in 1989, she was 31 years old. She had no money and a baby girl on her hip. So let's talk about how this billion-dollar empire started. She started as a temp in a salon doing facials, and now heads a global brand valued at over $3 billion. That is the American dream! Anastasia's here to tell us exactly how she did that. What she taught Kim Kardashian.
I think it's really important for women in business to support each other.
That's true. And what she wants all of you dreaming entrepreneurs to know.
So my question is around social media marketing.
So I'm thrilled to be here with a woman I have admired for so many years. And, you know, I go around the country speaking, and I go around the world. Sometimes I'm asked to speak in different countries. And your story is the story I carry with me wherever I go, because I think yours is the greatest immigrant story I've ever experienced. Anastasia Soare, who went from escaping communist Romania to building a billion-dollar brand, literally from her own mind and her own imagination and her own, hard work. And so this conversation today is to talk about how she did it, how she was raising brows, yes. And also to help those of you who are dreaming of your own dream, who may have felt lost in your dream, who may feel like that what you have hoped for and what you wish for and what you wanted to do cannot come true. Anastasia is a living testimony that if she can do it, you can do it. So I met her many years ago when I heard everybody was talking about this woman in Beverly Hills who was working magic, changing the way women saw themselves by changing the shape of their eyebrows. And I was like, what? What is that all about? And that had me raising my own eyebrows. And I'm thinking, who is this woman? And I remember the first time I went to Anastasia's Beverly Hills, women were lined up around the corner like there was free food or something.
I know.
Anastasia, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have no words to thank you for your support over almost 3 decades.
Yeah, it's almost 30 years.
I know.
So I'm so excited for our conversation because now everyone can learn, I think, how you became this brilliant, creative businesswoman. And because you have finally written your book, Raising Brows, My Story of Building a $1 Billion Beauty Empire. And this book is for anybody. You're chasing a dream. You're striving to reach your highest potential. This right here is the toolkit. So I just want to say that for everybody who's saying, and you say this in the beginning of the book, you say, people who say, I don't know how to start a business.
Yes.
I don't have a college degree or an MBA. I don't speak English. No one understands me when I talk. I don't have contacts who can help me. I don't have money. I'm an immigrant. I'm new to this country. I'm too old. I'm scared. You say what?
Just start and do something. Follow your dream, whatever you want to do. You have a dream. Don't just wait for the perfect plan, for the perfect product, for the perfect everything.
Anything.
Just start.
And I say this because in the book, you give all those examples, but you didn't know how to start a business.
No.
You didn't have a college degree or an MBA. You didn't speak English. You were new to this country, and you were scared.
Oh my God, I was so scared. I was crying every single day, the first 6 months being in America.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I started out by saying this is the greatest country in the world, even though we're all divided now and there's all kinds of, you know, polarization. Only in this country could your story have been possible. Only in this country could my story have been possible. And you describe in Raising Brows that first moment of coming through, which, I mean, it made me tear up because I think about you and every other immigrant who's come to this country. You don't speak the language.
Yes.
And you have your literally baby
Yes.
on your side. You don't even know what the guy at the passport
was talking about.
You don't even know what he's saying.
Yes.
There's this moment where you describe, you see him speaking, you don't know what he's saying, but you look to the left and you look to the right to see what everybody else is doing,
Yes.
and they're handing him these papers, and you do that.
I did that, and then still he asked me something I still couldn't understand. The only way I felt like I'm relief when he put the seal.
That thud.
Yes, and I thought, oh my God, this is the best sound of freedom.
Yeah, that thud of the passport being stamped. Yeah.
Yes.
Tell us about where you were coming from in that moment in Romania and your choice to choose freedom, because you were coming from communist Romania.
Yes.
Your husband had already come to this country.
Yes.
And the communist regime, the police officers were looking for him because they felt like he had, defected to this country?
He defected. He left the ship in Italy.
He was working on a ship.
He was captain of the ship. He defected the ship, went to American embassy and asked for political asylum. And I had to go to the police station to answer questions. Where is your husband? You know, why he asked for political asylum? Did you know that? Of course, I had to be interrogated almost every other week. And it was a very dark time in Romania. The communist regime was oppressing everyone. We didn't have electricity. We didn't have food. Even you couldn't buy milk for your kid. Bread. It was terrible.
Yeah. And you had, in your earlier years, lived with your grandfather in a beautiful farmhouse, it sounded like. And the communist regime came in. They took away the land. They took away the property.
Everything.
And everybody had to move into these, government-sanctioned apartments.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes. After 2 homes were confiscated, he moved into a small apartment given by the government, 4th floor with no elevator. And he was in his 80s. And this is what it happened. It was really bad.
And then you talk about, and the reason I'm asking all these questions is because I want everybody to know that everything that you go through, everything that you've been through, is building strength for what is to come.
For sure.
That nothing is lost. And so what really reminded me of this story is your father dies.
Yes.
And your mother is a mother of, this is 1957, 58, 59, in the early 60s.
Yes.
In Romania. There's not a lot of opportunities for women.
For women, there are zero opportunities.
Zero.
Zero, not a lot.
Not a lot.
Zero.
And your mom is out of the home running a tailoring seamstress business.
Yes.
And your mother and father had been doing that, right?
Both of them, yes. And she came to me, I was 12. She asked me to help her to keep the business.
Yeah, but this moment you paint in the book, this beautiful scene where you come home and you're crying, your father has died, and your mother says, there's no time to cry.
Yes.
Yeah. There's no time to cry. You are going to have to step in.
Yes, and help me.
Yeah, and help me.
Yeah.
And what do you think as a 12-year-old in that moment?
In that moment, I thought, Mom, I'm 12. What do I know about business? I don't know anything. And of course, she said, well, you are smart. I'm going to teach you everything. You don't worry about it. And of course, I was scared. But if she said that I'm going to be okay and she's going to teach me, I follow her lead.
And so, again, I say, nothing that has ever happened to you is lost, because watching your mother every day, getting the Vogue patterns. Remember, y'all, when there used to be patterns and people made dresses from the patterns? The women would come and choose from a Vogue pattern in communist Romania.
Correct.
Wasn't even allowed.
No.
And so you had to be doing this, your mother's doing this out of fear that at any time they can come in and say, what are you doing this for? But the women would come to get dresses made.
For sure, because you couldn't go and buy dresses at department store. Everything was made to measure. And she used to make that. And to be in business, because you are not allowed at that time to have your own business. She figured out that every wife of influential person in the Communist Party wanted to have beautiful
They still
dresses.
wanted to dress well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So happy wives, happy lives. So this is how she was able to stay in business. And I think she was a master of marketing. And I think I learned so much from her without even thinking.
Yes, and not only learned something from her, but you learned something from watching how the women transformed.
Correct.
When they came into your mother's living room.
Yes.
And would try on their clothes.
Yes.
And then they would feel beautiful for a moment.
Correct.
And then many years later, you do the same thing when you're transforming women with their brows.
Yes.
Yes.
Because I think the joy I watch my mom, watching her, the way she dealt with the clients and the way her clients had so much joy and they felt so beautiful.
Yeah.
I felt the same when I started doing eyebrows. It's a very magical moment when a woman kind of feels beautiful and you feel empowered. Once you feel beautiful, I think you feel really
more powerful. Walmart has committed $350 billion to products made, grown, or assembled in the United States by 2030, creating 750,000 jobs right here in America. And did you know the good people at Walmart have a deep commitment to supporting American entrepreneurship and helping small businesses succeed? Every year since 2014, Walmart hosts Open Call, where entrepreneurs pitch their businesses directly to Walmart merchants. I didn't know that. Then Walmart hands out more than 100 coveted golden tickets, so great, to well-deserving small and medium business owners, putting their products online and in Walmart stores across the nation, helping them to expand and create jobs in their local communities. I think that's an extraordinary opportunity. Walmart, who knew? Learn more at walmart.com. So let's talk about how this billion-dollar empire started. I mean, that's what's so remarkable about it. You started plucking people's eyebrows and ended up making more than $1 billion. And you believe that eyebrows are our most powerfully defining feature. Explain why.
So this is, I didn't invent this. It's a well-known idea that Leonardo da Vinci, for instance, used the golden ratio in all his work.
You learned this when you went to art school in
yes.
communist Romania.
Correct.
As an art student in Romania, Anastasia studied Leonardo da Vinci. He used the golden ratio to create proportion and balance in his paintings, a balance that is especially pleasing to the human eye. This is the genius idea behind the way Anastasia shapes brows.
My teacher always said, if you want to draw a portrait and you want to change an emotion, you just change the eyebrow shape. And working as an esthetician, when I came to United States, of course, we did facial, body waxing, but never eyebrow in Los Angeles. Nobody was into eyebrows. And I realized that when I bought a camera, a disposable camera, I realized that my eyebrows was pencil thin and round, because in the 80s, that was
That's
the
what
fashion.
People would do. They were drawing their eyebrows.
Correct. And I looked surprised. So it was the aha moment where I thought, wow, I look surprised because my eyebrows.
Yeah.
So I went to the library.
Everybody looks surprised.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
I went to the library and I revisit the books. I rented all the books with Leonardo da Vinci, and I was able to create the perfect arch for me, the perfect shape. And then I start sharing with my clients, because my clients will come to the shop and they will think, wow, you look different. You look rested.
Yeah.
Did you change your hair?
Yeah.
They didn't know was the eyebrows.
Yeah. The first time I got my eyebrows done by you, I felt like I looked like I had my face lifted.
Do you see what I mean?
Something happened, opened
Yes.
up here. Yeah.
It
yeah.
completely brings so much harmony, so much balance and proportion, because eyebrow is the most important feature on our face.
Who knew that?
Well,
You're
looking at
you didn't invent it, but you were the person who discovered that is what makes it.
Yes, I
different.
didn't invent it.
You didn't know you were starting a brow revolution.
I did, of course not.
No.
Of course not.
No.
And then there were no products for eyebrows. I was mixing aloe vera with eyeshadow and Vaseline to create this pomade to fill in the perfect shape.
Wow.
And the clients will come back after the visit and they will tell me that their eyebrow looked perfect when they leave the salon, but when they will take a shower, they need that products.
Yeah.
So that was the moment when I thought, I'm going to go to Italy, to Cosmoprof, and start a product line.
Wow.
This is how all started.
I know, but before it all started, how many times did you run into people who didn't believe in your theory? I mean,
constantly.
Constantly.
Yeah, even my husband.
Yes.
It's like, are you crazy? Because I told him, I'm going to quit my job. He didn't work at that time. I'm going to quit my job, and I'm going to rent a space, a room.
I just want to say he didn't work at that time because your husband was a really brilliant man.
Yes.
And had, coming here as an immigrant, the only job he could get was as a cab driver.
Correct.
And working as a cab driver 14 hours a day just wore him out.
Yes.
Wore him out.
And he got in a fight with a customer because the customer found a book in the back seat, a Nietzsche book, and he kind of ridiculed my husband. Like, oh, there's no way you are reading this book. I think a previous client.
The customer had said, oh, somebody left this book.
Yes.
Your husband said, oh, that's my book. Mm-hmm. And he said, there's no way you're a cab driver and you're reading this book. And your husband got into
a fight, and he got fired.
Yeah.
So
now you're the breadwinner.
Now I'm the breadwinner, and I told him, I really believe in eyebrows. I think they are so important. The owners of the shop didn't believe in it, and I'm going to rent a room in a Beverly
Let's preface
Hills
this by saying you had gone to work substituting for another esthetician.
That was pregnant for 3 months, and then after the time she came back, they liked me, and I stayed there for a year and a half, almost 2 years.
What's important to me about that story, and I was just saying this to somebody who recently, a member of my family who was like, they're having trouble, they haven't fulfilled their dreams, and they think they should have fulfilled their dreams already. I said, the reason you haven't fulfilled your dreams is because you weren't really willing to take the jobs and do what was necessary to get to the dream. Everybody just wants the dream.
Correct.
And so what's important about your story is that your husband you're new to this country, you don't really speak English well, and you take a job as an esthetician.
Yes.
Because that's the job that was available to you.
Correct.
At the time. And as that esthetician, you then decide, well, you know what? I can make women look and feel even better. Even better.
Yes.
And then you dare to do it even though the people who you're working for are saying, no, that's not important.
Correct. I think the key to follow your dream is just start. Start somewhere. And nobody is going.
There's nobody new on that poster.
Right. Yeah. It's like Brock was the next big thing 23 years ago. And Roman's been the big dog and whatever for 15 years or whatever. Cody came in 2007 or whatever it was. And like, yeah, you know, he's been reinvigorated with like his going to AEW and stuff like that. But it's like, even Cody's like, yeah, okay, you're not, you know, it's somebody who's just brand new to the roster or some like hot ticket item that's like rising the ranks right now. And Punk's, you know, he's been around for 20 something years.
Punk was in the company by the time we get to WrestleMania next year, 20 years ago.
Right.
Like,
so it's like, hey guys, remember all them? Yeah,
and
I do.
I saw this one. I saw this controversy of like, why is Hunter on the poster? And then that led to people being like, here's a bunch of posters with Vince McMahon on them. That's different. He was a character on the show. It's like, Hunter's on the poster because he's a recognizable face. And like,
he's the face of WWE.
Himself as Mr. WWE.
Right.
If Dana White could be on all the UFC posters, he would be. You know? Like,
yeah. Like, I don't have an issue with Triple H being the guy that's like introducing that and being like, here's the puppets that I'm puppeteering essentially, or Paul Heyman being like a manipulative person in the background, whatever. But like, I don't know, maybe save this for something where if they would have had some kind of an announcement, like, again, like I don't want everything to just be, you know, it has to announce stuff way in advance or it needs to be, you know, specifically targeted to something. But like, I would care so much more if this exact same ad would have been the four of them, or even just two people playing cards or whatever it might be, to set up like a stipulation or to announce like, I don't know, the return of Raw Roulette. You know, like even something like that, I'd be more like, oh shit, Raw Roulette's coming back. More so than just, oh, okay, yeah, it's just a WrestleMania advertisement. So, God forbid what we end up getting next year when it comes to promoting the Riyadh stuff. We're just gonna hear bum 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 da 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 over again. You guys getting sick and tired of that fucking ad too?
Staring down a foreign bird, saying now would be a good time to have a shotgun. And I believe the things you've heard. Listen to it careful, I know you're a real one. I could love it back.
Is that sound specifically only for the Riyadh stuff? Because I do hear that a lot.
Riyadh season, yeah, where it's got like the Mewtwo ad and
yeah,
you know, it's like Morgan Freeman pops up and whatever.
Hey, maybe one day it'll be in the sky.
Yeah, that's insane. That sky thing. Well, you know, on Raw we figured out what the cryptic thing was all about and ended up being a bust. But some other stuff that happened on Raw that we didn't yet talk about. We talked about a lot of that when it came to the Saturday Night's Main Event stuff, all the stuff with Penta and the Intercontinental title and Rusev, Dominic Mysterio and all. Nikki Bella seems very happy with her performance with the Roxanne Perez match. That's been going around a lot. I don't know why that's like specifically been mentioned, but okay. Kabuki Warrior stuff, continuing that, going along here with that storyline. Here's an interesting thing though. Maxine Dupri had a backstage segment with Adam Pearce, and Adam Pearce was like, "You've gotten 2 wins over Becky Lynch, which is awesome. And your last match was an Intercontinental title match that you won by, she had won by the count out and disqualification between those 2 matches. So you deserve a title shot," which is like, all right, you already just had one, but I get it. And she says, "I don't want to do that right now. I want to wait, and I want to train, and I need help from a friend of mine." I don't know who it is. I'm assuming it's Natalia, to train me to make sure that I'm making the most of this opportunity, because these opportunities don't come around all that often, and I want to be ready for it, whatever. And Pierce's response is effectively, "Sure, I'll just wait, and you tell me when you want a title shot." Which says to me, they want to continue this story. They don't want to drop it. Yet, for something that's really just ultimately going to be Becky beats Maxine, and, they're just killing time anyway, they feel the need to kill time for at least 2 weeks. Because if they would have announced, they could have announced this for Saturday night's main event. They could have announced it for next week's Raw. And they have no problems these days announcing things for 2 weeks from now. We've gotten things that are announced on NXT that are like, in 2 weeks, you're going to have a match with so-and-so. So we're not getting this Maxine Dupri and Becky Lynch match until mid-November at the earliest. But they really want you to know that that's like, hey, don't lose track of that. I wonder why.
So it could be Natty. I feel like it might also be AJ, because AJ would at least warrant the surprise of like, hey, let's give it a little bit so I can have someone train me, because AJ did make Becky tap and they haven't followed that up yet.
Even that though, I mean, like, it's strange to have to be like, let's kill time for a month and a half for like, let's do this side feud with Maxine, and then no, we can't just have the match, and we gotta stall for more time. Is it to keep Becky away from the Vision for a little while where people forget about that? Is it because Becky's got other stuff going on? I don't know.
Well, Becky does have an injured husband at home, but I can't imagine that would really keep her away for too long. I think it's just to build up to AJ.
It's Friday, October 17th, 2025, and welcome back to Goodfellows, a Hoover Institution broadcast examining history, economics, and geopolitics. I'm Bill Whalen. I'm the moderator today, and I have a very envious job because I get to sit back and gain from the collective wisdom of a couple of my colleagues we jokingly refer to as the Goodfellows. That would include the historian Sir Neil Ferguson, hello Neil, and the economist John Cochran. Now, normally we have a third good fellow, that's Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster, but the good general cannot join us today. We will somehow soldier on in his absence. So, gentlemen, 2 topics to get into today. I want to talk economics with you guys. October is a month a lot of people identify with economic hardship and bad news, stock market crashes, bank runs, and whatnot. So, Neil and John, I want the 2 of you to bat around some economic issues. But before that, let's talk about the big topic this week, and that is the prospect of peace in the Middle East. Joining us for this conversation is Russell Berman. Russell Berman is the Walter A. Haas Professor of Humanities here at Stanford University. He is a Hoover Institution Senior Fellow, as are Neil and John. Russell also co-chairs Hoover's Working Group on the Middle East and the Islamic World. Russell, welcome to Goodfellows.
Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about the peace in Middle East now. We could do an entire hour just on the history of peace deals, why some work and others don't. Today, in fact, is the 31st anniversary of Israel and Jordan initializing a peace deal. We're also closing in on 25 years since Bill Clinton tried to broker a deal between Israel and the PLO in the closing days of his presidency. Russell, I assume that you and John and Neil, I assume you also looked at the 20-point plan put forward by the White House. Formerly, it is called the Trump Declaration for Enduring Peace and Prosperity. And Russell, let's focus on that word enduring. You've looked.
I hope so, at least for my fantasy league team. She needs to win.